Alright, let's look at some replays. that's basically how I got Masters. Alright, so I get to go first. So I summon Ash. The effect Veilers, and then I dodge the effect Veiler by using the Fire King Avatar. By doing that, I get to get another Popular effect by adding it to my hand, special summon it, grab original Sinful Spoils, use Sinful Spoil, get Popular, pull up Ponix, get a spell from Ponix, put Popular in the spell and trap zone. We get Fire King Sanctuary, activate it, put Fire King Island on the field. Pop Ponix, bring out Grunix effect, special summon, pop from the deck, Volcanix effect, and then Fire King Avatar. Summon into the Promethean Princess activates, bring back the original Grunix. Then we set the Called by the Grave. So immediately shotgun that, just in case he counters it, which was unfortunate. Nothing you can really do about that. I don't have any way to negate it. It's fine though, it doesn't really matter. So we get to add back our Ponix because it was destroy last turn. And then he tries to summon something out. He does this really long combo that kind of worries me. Fast forward it a bit. So he brings out Baron, which already puts me at a choke spot. Because I want to use this. So he summons black metal dragon to full card. I try to call by it. He negates it. So literally I'm at a choke point where I can't do anything unless he literally destroys one of my cards. Because originally Promethean Princess is supposed to be an interruption, but because she's on the graveyard she can't interrupt. So we're just waiting for him to destroy one of my monsters cards. So he goes into Romulus. Then he pulls the black metal, what is that card called? Yeah, the black metal dragon. He uses that effect. He does full rocket combo with Dragon Ravine, puts up Boot Sector, pops it, goes through his combo, hits the and Striker Dragon. Then he revives something in the middle here. Links into that one. Delingris, pops Delingris, special summons it back, writes effect, links into Borderline Dragon. This is what gave me a really hard time. And then he puts up another negate with Bestial Dissipator. Special summoning the Delingris again, linking it off to SP. Then he tries popping my Grunix. Grunix activates. So I special summon it. Accidentally in defense mode, by the way. It would have been better if I put him in attack. So after that, SP activates, and then I dump Kieran into the graveyard. And Dissipator activates his thing because of Lil Knight. So because of Lil Knight, puts back my Promethean Princess. So I don't have any way to get it back unless I resummon it. And he negates my Kieran. Then I get to activate Ponix in my hand, and it resolves. So we get to summon Ponix, and I believe we get to use this effect. Yeah, we get to search a card, we get the Fire King burn, which is good because he's already used his negate to Baron. This is where it gets a little hairy because what is it? Borderline Dragon? Yeah, Borderline Dragon can attack literally every single monster on the field. So because of that, he clears my whole field. But that means I get to get my Ponix back. So then he reshuffles the first negate, which was the Baron. He brings it back for Magnemite. So he still has the negate for Dissipator. So bring back Ponix into my hand. SP Little Knight's back on the field. Grunix activates because it was destroyed last turn. So he tries to get rid of the Dissipator, and he gets rid of the SP, so then he doesn't take, or they don't get destroyed, and he can bring it back next turn. So Grunix gets summoned, destroys all monsters on the field, but because Borderline isn't affected, can't do anything about that. So we try to shuffle in, see what we can pull from our deck. We get to pull Ponix. So that's the only other target left. Summon Poplar. Borderline Dragon activates its effect. It gets my effect. Summons out the Rocket Tracer. Rocket. And then the Dueling activates because Rocket Tracer was summoned. I get to pop one for my field spell. And I summon out Sacred. And we pop Avatarum, and because we pop that, we get to use Ponix. So Avatar summons out Kieran, Ponix is summoned, and then we have a full board. This is where I pull out Circle of the Fire Kings, and I link summon into Promethean. Try to bring back one, I believe. Yeah, activate. That way I have more materials, and we go into summon my Great Raging Phoenix, and I put into Atlantis. The reason I do that is because I'm trying to see what I can do to interact with this Borderline Dragon, because it's immune to practically everything that I have set up for it. So we use that, take it off the field, and practically everything just gets returned, except for, I think it's the SP. And there's no other thing that I could do with Borderline Dragon. Like, I can't put it, like, face down, I can't do anything, but it's whatever. So summon out Promethean. I get to pick 2 cards. I picked Rocket Tracer, Borland to get rid of them. Couldn't get rid of the Borland, it's immune. That guy pops that. Pop here. the Grunix, the original Grunix. Then that triggers off Great Raging Phoenix. He gains attack. And then I try Battle Phase. I try to destroy those cards because like they're all linked, or these two are linked. Atlantis and Promethean. Still unaffected, so I just attack 2000, and I link it off into kind of, and then it allows me, because I linked off the Promethean Princess, I'm allowed to now use what's it called? Underworld Goddess to link it off. So there's my out. And then so all I need to do now is just get another monster on the field. So I literally pop Grunix in my hand, bring out Fire King Avatar Kieran. And then now, basically, if he destroys my fire monster, I have Fire King Sanctuary if he summons anything to come back. And then I also have Circle of Fire Kings to even trigger if he doesn't attack. Or if I just need to pop something. I have two separate interruptions. So I use this interruption. He uses SP, so I force that out of him, and then I go for the revive. So I tried to res Avatara. He calls by it, because I guess that's what he pulled. That's what he drew. So basically, my card doesn't go through, but he can avoid removing us from the field, because now my Kieran is off the field because of the first card. And then now, I'm able to go through with my pop. And because of that, I get to activate two other cards. So I can activate Kieran because it was sent to the grave this turn for a pop, and I can activate Grunix to summon. So summon Grunix, summon back the other Grunix too. Send one card from the deck to the graveyard, I get Onyx back in my hand. And then, as a last ditch effort, he tries to use this card. And he surrenders because it's literally nothing else he can do. With that one card, he literally cannot out Underworld Goddess and two Grunixes. And on top of that, I had the trigger for XZ summoning, so I literally could have popped everything on the field if I wanted to. was getting really lucky being able to go first. Alright, so let's see. What do we do this duel? Summon Ponix. He impermanences it. Dodge it by using Kieran. Kieran's really good to just dodge Spectacular and Infinite Impermanence. So we dodge the Infinite Impermanence, bring out Skyburn. You pull out the Field Spell, use the Field Spell to pop Kieran. Bring out Garunix into my hand. Kieran activates, summoning out Ponix, and Garunix gets summoned from the hand because the fight is destroyed. Activate Garunix, pop Volcanics from deck, summon Garunix. Put the Bellstar in the Spell Trap Zone, move off into Promethean. Summon back original Garunix, just so then I have a way to activate his first ability. Oh, I remember this then. So he summons that, brings out Foxy Tunes from his deck, sends Foxy Tunes to the graveyard, summons that Skyburn the Tuner, so he can't tune anymore, or Synchro Summon. He gets an attack boost, and that was the only thing he could do. Because if I were to pop this one, if this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can target one punk monster in your graveyard except level 5 monster, special summon it. So then I'd give him extra fuel to kind of synchro summon and mess around with. So that's why I didn't. And then this, I Ghost Ogre the field spell, and he responds with a Bestial Magnemite. So activating the Ghost Ogre, he can't activate Stand Up Centurion anymore, and he just gets 2 bodies on the field. That's literally it. And he can't interact with either of these at all. So he goes in the battle phase, he kills my Promethean Princess, and then I get to activate Sacred Fire King. I haven't used it yet, so I get to summon that out, and I'm basically protected for the rest of this battle. And then I also get to use it effect. Would have popped, I believe I could still use that effect. Even if not, I still get a card onto the field. And he can't respond, so. Just a really bad hand. Summon Poplar, Ashes. Denimax sees me. Can't respond to any of it, so just let it go through. Activate Field Spell. Destroy it just to grab Ponix. Put this in the Spell Trap Zone, activate Ponix, because at least that way I have a way to respond. He only has 3 cards in hand, so there can't be much that he can respond to. He ends up imperming me, so he can't do anything from there. So now we just have to shotgun Maxi and just hope that he can't respond to that. So I use Maxi, doesn't respond, so it goes through. Special summons Gestir Fenrir. And then this is where he starts pulling out the Horus cards. Yep, Horus Field Spell. He gets to shuffle 1 card from his hand, grabs some Seti, uses some Seti. This card's a trap card, forgot what it's called. King Sarcophagus, the trap card resets itself onto the field. Activates King Sark. Now he has 3 ways practically to summon out those 3 monsters. He summons them out disregarding the Maxi. He tries to banish my card, so it doesn't do anything with the field summon because it's face down. He destroys Ponix, that allows me to summon Garunix. Garunix goes on the field. Because of that, I can pop a card. I pop Avatara, which lets me special summon Ponix back. Destroys Ponix. Destroys that. And he goes for a direct attack. I don't know why he didn't send it to the graveyard. If he sent it to the graveyard with the sarcophagus effect, he wouldn't have had to deal with my abilities. Then he summons out Hope Harbinger. So with this, I try to burn out his negate. So I grab Ponix back. He activates that. So I get special summon back, even though he has nothing in his grave. Activate wanted. He absorbs it. The chain gets resolved. So now he doesn't have a negate. I have Snake-Eyes Subversion in hand, so I can get rid of the Fenrir. So that's exactly what I do. I get rid of Fenrir. Summon out Diabell Star. Activate Diabell Star. And activate Poplar. Infinite permanence. So basically I only get to set the Poplar. Summon Ponix. Grab Fire King Sanctuary, activate Fire King Sanctuary, places Fire King Island on the field, activate that, pop Ponix, summon Garunix, and then with that I get to pop a card, pop Alcanix, summon out the other Garunix, and then I get to summon Ponix out because I haven't used its effect yet. And now we have multiple bodies, link that off into Promethean. Then we use Promethean to resurrect Grunix. Link that off into Salamangreat Raging Phoenix. Raging Phoenix into Emblowell. Or World Seas Atlantis, my bad. Vanishes everything, brings it back. Now he has stuff that he can res. Which I didn't really think through. But I made it work because I had so many disruptions at this point. So I set both his cards face down, try to pop a Garunix, he uses Canopy, and he has 2 targets. So I go through, pop his card. Raging Phoenix. The Bestinif activates this effect, so now I can't attack or use effects on any force cards. And he summons out that one. Dua Mutef. So I can only so I pop the 2 cards that he can use to summon. He activates that effect, which allows him to draw because I destroyed their cards. Cards left the field, and I ash it, so he can't use it. So I attack Mseti. That's the only one that allows me to attack. Then I link off into Ambler Whale this time. And then I end my turn. And by this point, all I need to do is get rid of this one, the Walls of the Imperial Tomb. Because that's the only way he can bring back Mseti. So Ponix comes back into hand because it was destroyed last turn by effect. Fire King Avatar gets to come back from the grave because it was destroyed. Destroy all monsters. Because Amber Whale was destroyed, I get to summon out Promethean. I also get to summon out Garunix. Garunix effect. I can use Kieran to pop the field spell, then he only has 1 card in hand. So 1 card in hand. I have Amritara for negate. And he just can't respond and he quits. Last one we're gonna watch. So he gets to go first. Just want to add my other name. Surprisingly only sets 1. Alright. Summon Arvada. I keep saying its name wrong. Summon Arvada. Put field spell. Activate bonfire. Trying to bait the hand traps. Doesn't go for it. Summon Poplar because I add to the hand. Put the Bellstar on my field. Use original 6 as well. Get rid of that. Summon Ash. Use that effect. This is where I pop it. Arvada. Cancels out Ash Blossom. Then I pop Poplar. I get to get Ponix. Ponix effect. Because if something was destroyed, a fire monster was destroyed, I get to special summon from my hand. Put Poplar into Spell and Trap Zone. Grab a spell and trap. I grab Fire King, Fire Burn. Use Ash to get out Snake. Or Flamberg Dragon. Pop that for Grunix. So now I have more fuel. Bring out Grunix because Field Spell popped the fire at monster. Then Flamberg brings back the 2 Snake-Eye monsters. Use that. Field was full, so I didn't really think of that. I thought I could still destroy one. So go into Promethean. He nibs Fear. And then at this point I use Fire Recovery. Bring back Promethean Princess. And then I tried Special Summon, and he imperms it. So there's nothing I can do, but it's better that I have the Promethean inside my field. I use the Fire Recovery to draw 1 card by putting back cards in my graveyard back into my deck. Grab Nib, that's it, and reset 1. It's better to have Promethean on the field because at least if they destroy it like this, I can summon back Grunix. So Grunix triggers in the graveyard, special summon, then I get to use the effect, pop Volcanics. Volcanics gives me more fuel. I bring out the other Grunix, he uses that, I pop the field spell so he can't activate it, he can't do anything, and so Grunix comes back on the next turn. He ends, he only has 1 card in hand. Alright, draw phase, Grunix works, he's summoned. Pops Grunix in hand triggers, I get to summon him, I pop Arvada special summons Volcanics activates, but it is negated because of Arvada's effect. Reshuffle that into the deck, pull Ash, summon Ash, grab Poplar summons, and here, since he has no monsters, it's just full on attack. Activates Ubel. He gets to grab Nightmare Pain. Well, I use Promethean to pop, which honestly wasn't a good idea. But it gets a stronger monster out anyways, and so I can link off for Promethean to res. So effective Spirit of Ubel brings out Ubel. Poplar puts it into this thing. I send Ubel to the back row. Link off into Raging Phoenix. Link off again into Chimera. Oh no, IP. Pop Grunix into grabbing Kieran just for recursion. So I can pop the Salamangreat just in case I need to. He summons Centurion, grabs Wake Up Centurion, uses Wake Up Centurion. This is where I use Promethean to pop the token so he can't synchro. Grunix activates. I use Grunix pop. I get to pop 1 card on the field. Summon Arvada, so I get a negate, and he surrenders. And then here's the deck list. So I was debating about taking this one out, just because if they have an out to this card is kind of dead, or if they don't even like use effects, monster effects that like trigger like that, or like that don't stay on the field, because normally they'll only use like their effects on their turn. But Kurikara, pretty solid card, and it's a search effect, or it's a search target for Snake-Eyes, Ash. So 1 Ash because that's the max. I have 2 Ponix because originally ran 1, but 2 is honestly better for the consistency reasons, and on top of that, if they banish it, and I can't access into the Fire Recovery, it's gone. So having a Fire King Ponix. Oh, also not being able to destroy it with an effect or in battle. Also, locks it into the graveyard because I have no way of getting it back unless I pull a card that can out it. So having 2 Ponixes is good, so I could search more. I have 2 Poplar, just because 3 is too much, especially for how much of Sinful Spoil cards that we're running. But having 2 is good, has more targets for Flamberge, and it's also more material for Diabellstar. Have 1 Maxi, 1 Ghost Ogre, 1 Ash Blossom. Honestly, running multiples would go past the 40 cards. I'm already at 41. So this is kind of like just trying to keep it compact. But yeah, having 1 Maxi is fine. Having 1 Ghost Ogre, 1 Ash Blossom. 1 FireKing Avatar, Arvada, simple negate. 2 of the Volcanics. Originally had 3, brought it down to 2 just because I thought of it as a brick. Like, it's good, I guess, to search, but majority of the time I'm not keeping this card on my field. I'm not using its level modifier, because if I am searching, I'm searching with Ponix. So I have like 3 targets to search Ponix. So searching these other ones, I never really do, because I just use the FireKing Island to do that. So the really only effect that I'm using for this is the summon FireKing High Avatar Grunix. So having 2, because I only have 1 in deck, it's good, because then at least like I don't brick, because it kind of is a brick if the Grunix is already out of the deck into your hand or your graveyard. We have 2 Diabellstar because I don't know, I just didn't think I needed 3, because if you pull 2 in your hand, at least it's already out of your deck, and you don't pull a 3rd one, and then it's like completely useless if you can't special summon or anything, if you're locked from special summoning from like stun. 1 Grunix, this card is a brick, but it's really good because of Volcanics, so you could really take advantage of that. 1 Snake-Eyes Flamberge. Don't even need to explain why I just run 1, because yeah, it'd be too much into the cards if I had 2 and it'd be a brick. So originally had 1 Sacred FireKing Grunix, bumped it up to 2 for consistency reasons. This card is really like the main starter of like getting things rolling, and so not having access to it by like having only FireKing High Avatar Kieran in hand, or like just not having access to FireKing Island was really bad. So having 2 of them at least bumped up the consistency, but didn't overwhelm having like multiple of them in hand, and it kept room for me to draw like other things. So then at least I don't have like 3 in hand, and then it's all bricky. And then we have 3 FireKing High Avatar Kierans. This one, pretty self-explanatory why you have 3. It's because it special summons from the hand or graveyard, and it pops 1. Also, it's a disruption with its effect to dodge by destroying 1 FireKing monster in your hand or field. We bring 1 Nibiru. I think you only really need 1, because to be honest, you don't really need any hand traps in this deck. The reason you have 1 of each is mainly just as a target for Noble Crossout, which I decided to take out a little further down the line, because it's just I didn't really run into many decks that ran Nibiru and stuff. But for the most part, that's what I had it for. You can also just have Nibiru just in case like you end up maxing somebody and then they just keep going, and then you pull Nibiru, you Nibiru them. Pretty self-explanatory. We have 1 for 1. That way we can just get rid of a brick if we have one, like Diabellstar or Snake-Eyes, Flamberge. Just a way to summon out Ash, Ponix, or Poplar, whichever one you need. The card, I rarely drew this Like, I literally rarely drew this. This came up more in like pure Snake Eyes, but in FireKingSnake-Eyes, this card doesn't come out at all. One Sinful Spoil Subversion. This card is a brick, but I have it for the niche monsters that can't be really interacted with monster effects, or that like there's like a negate on the field of a monster effect, because that's what majority of monsters do. Like Arvada is only a monster effect negate. So just having the Snake Eyes Subversion is just having one is good enough, especially since it's searchable by these two, which that's like 4 cards that can search it if you really need it. But majority of the time you don't need it. You just keep it as like an extra search if like you activate the search effect and you don't need any more of the engine. If I were to take this card out, I would probably just straight up take it out. If not, I'd probably add another Sinful Spoils, original Sinful Spoil. But yeah, we have 2 bonfires. You don't really need more than 2, even if it's like limited, because your only targets are going to be like Ash and Snake Eye Oak or Poplar. So 1 original Sinful Spoils. I don't think you'd really, well, you could use 2 OSS just to summon out Ponix, but for consistency, I think you only need 1. It's easy to search out. If they don't Ash you right away, then it's pretty easy to search out. Fire Recovery is just here just so then you can get more recursion by putting back, recycling your Fire King Avatar Kirans, or if you're going against a deck that banishes a lot, you can put back your banished monsters, like especially like the fire monster, because this one's only for fire monsters. So you could bring back Promethean, you can bring back any of these cards if they end up banished, because you don't have a Oak. That's the reason I don't run an Oak, because Oak is a brick. We run 2 Fire King Islands, because if one gets destroyed, there's no way to get it back, and it is better to have 2, because if you end up having Fire King Sanctuary in your hand, its search effect kind of becomes dead. We have 1 Divine Temple, the Snake Eye. It's only if you want to get around bringing out Flamberg by using like the Tribute 2 effect. And also it's just so it gets it out of the deck, and like if you're able to use it to get it out of that just to put in the graveyard, makes it simpler, so then you could Promethean it back. We have 1 Circle of the Fire Kings. This is good for interruptions or to dodge. So you could target 1 fire monster, bring back another one from the graveyard. It also ignites the effect of Grunix. We have 2 Called By. Pretty self-explanatory. You can also add in Cross Out. We have 1 Wanted. Pretty self-explanatory. If you already have 3, you don't need a 4th, so might as well just 2 of these and then put 1. Plus it's a draw 1 if you already have OSS in graveyard. 1 Fire King Skyburn. I bumped this up to 2 and I regretted it, so it's back to 1. Reason is, this deck doesn't have enough field recursion, I guess. It doesn't keep the fire monsters on the field enough to just keep consistently using it. So you're better off just having 1 just for the niche use of when you need to pop stuff. Because the most likely thing you're going to do is you're just going to pop stuff using Kirin by using the Grunix's effect. Or if like you just pop it with the Fire King Island, you could just, yeah. Dramatic Snake Eye Chase. We got 1 of those. That's only if you accidentally lock a certain monster or something into the spawn trap zone. You can use it, banish it. You can also use it as material for Ash's second effect. We have 1 Evenly Matched. We don't need it. Honestly, I could take this out, make it 40 cards. but I'm keeping it just for the tough boards that don't interact with trap cards, like that don't negate any of them, and just like as like a clear board wipe, just so then you can make plays. And then we have 2 infinite impermanences. You can run 3, but it could get a little bricky. Like, I'd rather just have a starter in my hand. Next, the extra deck. I was debating about taking out Doolittle Chimera, putting in a Grunix Eternity to them. Ended up sticking with 1 because I realized how tight the extra deck is in this deck. If anything, the only thing I would get rid of is Selene. So, probably add 2 Grunixes, sub it out if you want. But we have one Linkuriboh, we have 1 Doolittle Chimera. Doolittle Chimera actually came in clutch in the 1 duel because it allowed me to pop it using the field spell. Because it was destroyed, I got to add a card back from my graveyard to my hand. So I was either able to add Ash or Kieran, and I was able to use it basically as like more fuel and more like follow-up, which is pretty good. So we have Hida, self-explanatory. We have IP. We have Dark, just for the niche use. We can use Linkuriboh or Diabellstar. We have SP. We have Selene, which niche use only for Diabellstar because she's the only spellcaster you could summon in defense mode. I was wondering why this wasn't working for the Link monsters, and I realized it was defense mode. Anyways, 2 Promethean Princess. That's just for if you need a secondary Promethean Princess because the first one gets banished from either deck or graveyard. At least you'll have it. Ambler Whale, just so you don't get fire locked, and it's another way of disruption by summoning out Promethean Princess back if you destroy it, or even destroying a card on the field. Appaloosa is really good if you have too much monsters on the field and you have an IP and you decide that you want to get rid of your monsters on the field for whatever reason. That's as like if you have Raging Phoenix on the field and you want him out of the field so then you can use his effect, his graveyard effect. You can literally use IP, take out the Phoenix and whatever other cards you got, summon Appaloosa. Appaloosa, you have 4 or so like negates. So it's pretty good, and then if they end up destroying a fire monster you got, then Phoenix will revive himself. We have Zelantis. Zelantis is just for popping, and then obviously like the original Snake-Eyes combo that you do. And then Goddess of the Underworld, or Goddess of the Closed World. Obviously you saw in the duel earlier. It's just to get rid of heavy hitters that are non-targetable. It kind of clears a board just because you can literally pull out like 7 summons on 1 turn. So if you have an issue monster on their field, you could literally just tribute it straight off the field. But yeah, that's the deck list.